If you have marketing and sales questions, I have answers. Here's how this works. First, you record your number one marketing or sales question. Second, you send it to me as an audio file. And finally, I answer it for you for free. My name's Oren Prunken, and welcome to my show.
Hi, Oren, it's Christine here. So my question is, a brand new service, a niche product or service that nobody else is doing, so nobody knows about it, therefore they don't know to look for it, Google search or whatever. Where and how is the best way to market that kind of service in the most financially efficient way?
Hello. So I'm going to answer this question starting with the how and then go to the where. So with the how, what you really want to do is be able to reveal to someone that they actually have a problem and that problem is worth solving. But the thing is, obviously, they're unaware and they don't know what their problem is. So I'll give you an analogy. So let's just pretend there's a person, they're walking around in a really fancy suit and they're just going to the toilet and they've got this really long sheet of toilet paper hanging off the back of their shoe. Now they're trying to look $1 million, they're walking around trying to look really good, but everyone else can see they've got this strip of toilet paper hanging behind them and they can't see it. Now, obviously, they're unaware that they have a problem. So what any decent and kind person would do would be go up to them and say, hey, look, you've got this bit of toilet paper hanging behind you. And at that moment, that person has had that problem revealed to them. They didn't realize that they had a problem and it's been revealed to them. So now they're problem aware. And now they're also aware of you. And hopefully, because you did it in a really nice way, they also like you. So they've gone from not knowing you to knowing you and liking you, all in one fell swoop. And you can see this in a million different scenarios. Someone's drinking alcohol and, they've been told that, a couple of drinks a night is healthy for you. But, for example, some new research may have come out to say that anything over one drink a night is unhealthy. And they thought they were doing the right thing, but now it turns out that they're not. Or, they're a couple kilos overweight and they're still within the BMI index, but their weight is still an issue, but they think because they're in the BMI index, it's fine. So really, what you have to do is make them known to the problem that's happening. The other thing that comes to mind is asbestos. Asbestos used to be great. Everyone used to roll around on it, and then people started dying, and they said, "Ooh, asbestos is not so good for people anymore." So on that, making people aware, there's this thing called the Johari window, and the Johari window is kind of like the best analogy I can give you verbally is picture a pie chart, and the pie chart is divided into 3 slivers, and 2 of those slivers are really, really tiny, and 1 of those slivers is really, really big. And the sliver that's really, really big, let's just say it takes up 98% of the pie chart. That's all the things we don't know. And then the other 2 slivers are, let's just say, for example, 1% each. So one of those 1% are all the things that we know. And look, I know how to talk and speak in the English language. I know how to cook. I know how to change my sheets, for example. Now, the remaining 1% is what we know we don't know. So I know that I don't know how to speak Mandarin Chinese, right? And what you're trying to do as a business owner is move all of the information that person doesn't know they don't know, so the person in the suit with the toilet paper, moving all of that information into one of those other categories. So you're moving some of the stuff that's in the 98% into 1% of what they know they now know. And one of the best ways to do that is to tell a story. It's kind of like a Trojan horse. Like, no one, when they're a kid, likes their parent going up to them and saying, you shouldn't do this. But if the parent says or explains a story about something that happened to them or happened to a friend of theirs, all of a sudden you're not getting told what to do. and the lesson gets instilled in them. The other way, especially with the example I gave you of asbestos, is research is really powerful. But the thing is, when you're doing this stuff, so we're kind of in that how section already, when you're doing this stuff, you don't have a ton of time, because this person doesn't know you and they don't like you. And it's the equivalent of going up to someone on the street and saying, "Hey, can I just talk to you for like an hour?" Everyone's just going to look at you and say, "Get away from me, you freak." But if you go up to them and go, "I just really want an opinion and I'm only going to take 15 or 30 seconds of your time," most humans, most decent people are going to go, "Yeah, hey, no worries, that's fine." So however you're getting this story or this research or this mechanism to reveal a secret to this person's blind spot, it's got to be really, really short, because people just don't have time. And because they don't have time, and in combination that they don't like you yet, because they don't know you, you've really got to get it out quickly. Once you've revealed whatever that blind spot is and you've helped them out, they're obviously going to be grateful for you, because you're the equivalent of the person that's told them to get the toilet paper off their shoe. So you've gone, kind of a lot of the steps way through, overcoming some of the objections for selling. The last one you've got to really overcome is them trusting you. And depending on how you reveal that secret, you may get that trust, but you probably won't. So don't make the mistake of going in and trying to sell at this stage, because they just probably don't trust you yet. And obviously trust is built by making a promise and keeping your promise, and then doing that over and over again and demonstrating over time that you're a trustworthy provider. So don't fall into the mistake of like selling them then and there. Just make them aware that they have a problem. Now that they are aware that they have a problem, the next logical thing for them is to say, well, now I know I have a problem. What solutions are out there? And that's where you come in to build some trust around, yeah, hey, there are solutions. We happen to be one of those, but there are all these other different types, and you build a bit of trust. And then when they're at the point of saying, hey, there are all these solutions, now I know what they are, your product is one of those, and then they can go into potentially choosing your product and becoming product aware, and then going on to be most aware, which becomes like a customer. So let's move on to where you actually go do that. So we've got markets and market sizes. So there's like 7 point whatever billion people on the planet, and not everyone is your customer. So your total addressable market is never 7 billion. You have to go to the next rung of market size underneath that. So your addressable, serviceable addressable market. So your SAM. So it's all of the people that may have that problem, and that's not 7 billion. And depending on what product you're selling or service you're selling, there's going to be a fraction of that 7 billion humans that just would never have the problem, even if they're unaware that they've got a problem for your product. So you've got to go down to the next rung of all the people that potentially could use your product if they became aware they had a problem. And they're the people that you should be targeting. It shouldn't be your target market, because they don't know you yet. So then it comes to the question of where those people are, and don't necessarily fall into the mistake of thinking it has to be online. Those people are everywhere. Online is just one channel. So absolutely could be offline. They could be found offline, but you really got to think about where that set of people congregate. And usually the channels you're going to find them through are either paid or earned media, not owned media. If you've got owned media, they already know you, they already like you, they're already in contact with you and can find you. So it's really about what paid channels and what earned channels you can use. So those paid channels are really going out to interrupt people in their day-to-day life. And that's what you're really doing when you're going up to the person with the hypothetical bit of toilet paper hanging off their shoe, is you're going out and just to interrupt them. So paid media is probably going to be one of the really good channels that you need to look at. And same with earned media. They're going through and reading a blog or reading a newspaper or whatever, and then your information comes up, and it's an interrupt because they're not actually going about looking for that information, because they're not problem aware. So hopefully that answers your question, or at least gives you some clues of how you can tackle the where and the how of making people who are unaware of a problem aware of a problem, but also aware of you, so you can take them down that customer journey to help them out.
Thanks for listening, and if you've got a marketing or sales question, please record it, send it to me, and I'll answer it for you for free. And if you like what was on here and want more, please go to orenprunken.com.